I just wanted to talk about the Lions game for a little bit. Um, so I'm not spoiler, but I'm gonna give you guys a warning or heads up right now. I did not watch the ending to the game. I had some personal stuff come up, and there are some things in life that are more important than sports, and
Yes.
I have my priorities straight.
Yep.
So
Family first,
yeah,
man.
family first. So I had some family issues going on that I take care of. So I'm not going to be able to watch every single game, and I'm okay with that. But I do keep an eye on what's going on, and if something does happen, I do my homework on what happened, and then I'll give my best opinion on what's going on.
Yep.
But before we get to the ending, I do want to say this: the Lions' defense stepped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we've been sitting here for the last 2 months now saying this defense is terrible, like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely brutal. And I mean, I was at basketball practice today, and one of the teachers came up to me and was talking to me about the Lions game, and goes, "Man, that defense looked really good." I go, "Yeah." I go, "I don't know where that came from." They go, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Nick Mullins just threw for 400 yards against them last week."
Yeah.
They're like, "He got 400. The guy got 4 interceptions." I go, "Our local high school team right now could get 4 interceptions off Nick Mullins." I
Right.
mean, it's not that bad, but like, kind of like anybody can go out there and pick off Nick Mullins. It's kind of
Yeah.
my argument. And he looked at me and goes, "Yep, I honestly agree with you on that one." So you go into this game against Dallas, who say what you want about Dak Prescott, but he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Like, I'm not considered a trash Dak Prescott. I think
Right.
he's good.
Not
You
not to
got
mention, I don't know if you're gonna bring this up. I don't mean to cut you off. I just
yeah, go ahead.
thought of it. The Dallas team at home was averaging 40 points,
Yeah.
and they were eight. Well, they're 9-0 now, I think, but 40 points they were averaging, and this Lions defense somehow, some way managed to hold them to
20.
20.
Yeah.
So half of what they were averaging at home, they went. The Lions defense actually traveled to somewhere and held the team to half the points that they normally would average.
And a good football team, might add you. It
Oh
wasn't like
yeah,
the Dallas. It's not like the Dallas Cowboys are fighting for the first overall pick. It's the
right.
Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys are
no, this
fighting
is
for
a
the first
playoff
seed.
team that
Yeah.
you travel to their place. Which, if everything works out, there's a chance that they'll have to do it again in the actual playoffs.
And you
And
know
we'll
what?
talk about that
Listening
tomorrow.
and the Lions players after the game said we want to come back.
Yeah.
Like they want the Cowboys.
Hmm.
Anyways, so I'm proud of that defense. There was that one play in the first half where Derek Barnes had a wide open shot at Dak Prescott, and then for a safety, and then the Cowboys ended up getting a 99-yard touchdown,
Yep.
and that's when both of us were like, "Oh, we're in trouble."
Yep.
But the team was able to respond. The offense, granted, didn't have a great game, but they made enough plays, I think, to keep it in the game. Like I said, the defense, great game, forcing turnovers, getting an interception, fumble that went in the back of the end zone for a safety, which there's also now controversy on that rule, which my thought is, so what do you want to do? Rule it a touchdown? Because if he fumbled that ball at the 33 and it lands at the 30, then the Cowboys get the ball at the 30.
Yeah.
So you either got to change the rule for everywhere and figure something else out, or that's a touchback, and I think it needs to be a touchback.
Oh yeah.
But
Why
uh,
would you reward a team a touchdown when they fumbled the ball?
yeah, I don't know what the
That
internet
doesn't make
wants,
sense.
but one of those clickbait Facebook pages was
Yeah.
saying that they want to change that rule, and I'm like, why? I don't know if
No.
they want to give them a touchdown, but they wanted Dallas to keep the ball. I'm like,
If
okay, whatever.
you wanna give
Uh,
them loss of yardage for doing that, that's fine,
yeah,
but don't give them a touchdown because they fumbled the ball.
yeah. I don't think they wanted a touchdown, but they didn't think Dallas should have lost the ball, and Detroit should have gotten it at the 20.
Right.
But that's again, I'm okay with that rule. Even if it hurt the Lions, I would be okay. Like I understand that rule; it makes sense to me. And then I didn't like some of the coaching decisions that Dan Campbell made. I understand Dan Campbell's an aggressive man, and that's why we love him. But at the same time, you got to learn when to kick the ball and you got to learn when to punt the ball. And like, for example, in the first half, there was that drive that we were at like the 2-3 yard line, and it was fourth down, and he goes for it. Now, if you get a touchdown, great. But I understand the mindset of it too, because the defense, like we said, played a really great game. But you got to take the points, especially on the road. Now, I
I know you
understand.
should, but this he's not going to do that,
No,
and
he's not.
this is what we signed up for. But this is what we're gonna get: is a guy is gonna make decisions that are aggressive, and
Which
we're
I'm
gonna
okay
live
with
by
that,
it.
but like,
We're gonna die by it.
yeah,
Did it bite us? Yeah, it's going to bite us. But when it pays off, it's probably gonna be good
yeah.
for us.
So like, I understand the thought process behind it, because now Dallas has to drive the ball 97 yards to get a touchdown. So I understand the thought process behind it.
Mhm.
So I'm not completely against it, but I just would have rather kicked a field goal there.
Yeah.
But like you
Yeah.
said, it's who Dan Campbell is, and you know what? He's true to himself.
Mhm.
He's not fake,
Right.
and
That's what I like about him.
that's what I like about him too. Now, do I agree with every decision he makes? Obviously, no.
No.
But he's proven, him and Brad Holmes have proven they know what the heck they're doing. So
Mhm.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then the speaking of being overly aggressive, the next thing is the ending of the game.
Yeah.
So I haven't told you my theory on what happened, and it's reasonable and it's plausible, and Lions fans will not like it.
Uh, there's a few things I wanna say. I'll let you say what you wanna say, and then I wanna bring up an example and something else that was not getting talked about.
Yeah. So here's what I think happened. So the Lions, when they ever have 6 offensive linemen on the field, more often than not, it's Dan Skipper that reports as eligible. And so the Lions are bringing out 6 offensive linemen, and Decker goes out to the referee and says, "Hey, I'm reporting as eligible." He may or may not have said his number. Obviously, I wasn't there. So I don't really. And I'm sure it was mic'd up, but I haven't heard the audio of it. But I'm guessing he says, "Hey, I'm reporting as eligible," and the ref may or may not have heard his number or whatever. Looks up and sees Dan Skipper, number 70. Goes, number 70 is reporting as eligible, number 70. So somebody on the Lions sideline should have heard that and said, "Hey, that's not who's reporting as eligible." And then there's a referee on the side for the coaches. Campbell should have said, "Hey, that's not who reported. What do we do?" Like, I don't know if the Lions had any timeouts at this point. I don't believe they did. But I think that's what happened. Is the referee heard I'm reporting as eligible, looked up and saw Dan Skipper, and said, "Oh, they always report Dan Skipper. That's who they're probably bringing in at this point." I do know though that the Lions told the refs before the game, "Hey, we have a play where Taylor Decker, number 68, is going to report as eligible," because I've actually seen videos on YouTube or online somewhere of referees pregame, and what they'll do is they go up to the coaches before the game. It might have been a college video, to be completely honest with you, but I would assume NFL is the same, where they go up to the coaches before the game and say, "Hey, do you have any trick plays up your sleeve? Any formations that are a little wacky that you need us for us to be aware of?" And the coach will say, "Here's what we got." So I'm assuming Dan Campbell said, "Yeah, we have this formation that if we get in a 2-point situation, we have number 68 reporting as eligible."
Yeah.
So, but again, it was the last play of the game or last drive of the game. The ref's probably not thinking about that conversation at that moment, and then sees, "Here's I'm reporting as eligible," looks up and sees number 70. I think that's what happened. I don't think there was any. I know a lot of people think it's Detroit against everybody, which I believe in that to an extent. I don't think that's what happened here. I think it was an honest human mistake. And again, when the mic or the ref went on the mic and said number 70, somebody on the line's sideline should have noticed that or something and said, "Hey, no, it's 68."
Right.
But
Um,
that's my 2 cents on that. So I'm not putting any fault in the referee. I see the honest mistake there.
yeah. I'm to an extent, I guess I would say I am. Um, if you watched not the broadcast, because the broadcast was kind of bad of what happened. They never showed the replay till like later on, but like this, I guess the fan video, it showed Sewell Decker talking to the ref, and like you were saying, Skipper comes in, he sees Skipper, and instantly he goes over to Dallas as he sees Skipper running on. I don't even think Skipper made it to him. Runs over to Dallas, tells him that 70's eligible. Apparently, he announced it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You
I
know,
think through a Dallas
I heard.
radio call.
Yeah,
What? Sorry.
I heard it on, like you said, the Dallas radio call.
Yeah,
Number 70 is reporting as eligible. Number
yeah.
70.
So, like you're saying, that someone lines should have said something. And if they do change it, then obviously Dallas is gonna be like, why would they change it now? Maybe you call a timeout. Anyways, that's out of the story.
Did the
But
Lions
I
have any
felt like
timeouts left?
they might not have.
I don't know. I don't know what the ruling is there, because if the ref,
It
yeah.
might be an
Anyways,
official's timeout.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the ruling is on that.
Anyways, he should not. He should have. And like you said, it's on his mistake. The dude's been coming in all game. Here he
All
comes
season.
again. That's what you see. You see a guy, somebody running. You're not listening to the two guys that are talking to you.
Yeah.
And even I don't know if you heard it in the presser. I think it was yesterday or today that Dan Campbell said, he's like, yeah, we purposely had Sewell and Decker go over there with the intent to be confusing for everyone. And
Yeah.
I think it bit him.
Yeah.
Um, that and I was thinking about it. I was like, where have I heard something similar to this? And I don't know if you remember, but back in 2015, it was Michigan versus Michigan State, right? And one of my favorite players, his name was Jake Butt, right? He was
Yep.
a tight end for Michigan, played, got injured in the bowl game. Long story. Uh, During that game, I think it was close to being tied, or Michigan was down, whatever. Michigan got flagged for substitute with intent to deceive. What does that mean? That means Jake Buck fake going to the sideline like he was subbing out, but actually stayed on the field while everyone else huddled. They break the huddle. He's wide open. No one's covering him. They throw it. He goes down the field. If you ever wonder what was behind that, I believe Jake Butt posted on his Twitter some time ago. But he even said that, kind of like what you're saying in college, that Harbaugh brought that up, that, and according to Butt, he said it's the ruling is based on how the officials see it, if they want to call it, if they don't want to call it, if they want to allow it or not. And I can't remember if he said that. They said, yeah, that's not a problem if you do that. Just, we're going to make it obvious that, or not obvious. I can't remember all the story. You can look it
Yeah.
up. It's terrible talking. But anyways,
It really is.
yeah, I know. I'm not the best at this. All right. I'm working
No,
on that.
we're getting better. We're learning. We're learning
Yeah.
as we go.
Yeah. There'll be a lot less ums and ahs and ums and ahs.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, it was very similar to what happened here. Is everyone got confused and then there was a flag.
Yep.
Another thing that has not been talked about is, even if the play stood, there should have been another penalty for illegal formation, because I believe Decker was actually covered up by the guard. Therefore,
And
he was
that's
not
what
eligible to go down the
and
field.
actually the teacher that was talking to me today actually said the exact same thing. He goes, there's a view that I've seen where Decker was covered.
Yeah.
And
Even the rules analyst, I don't know who it is for ESPN. It's like, yeah, there's two flags here. One, was the late call of, 20 seconds later, illegal touching. It's like, two is like, there should have been also an illegal formation because he was covered up by the guard. So the play wouldn't have
yeah.
counted either way. So even if the refs did screw him, it still would have been flagged. And yeah, no one wants to talk about that either. But yeah,
No,
I
because
thought it was hilarious.
that doesn't fit the narrative of Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to be an honest fan here.
Well, I
I
know.
was like, yeah, you guys realize that we should have been called for another penalty there, as in illegal formation.
Well, like I said, I didn't watch the ending of the game, so I woke up Sunday morning and I go on Instagram and Facebook, and all I see is Detroit versus everybody. The refs screwed us, and it's all Lions fans and Lions fans pages posting this. And Now, granted, I'm a Lions fan, so I'm probably guilty of this to an extent too.
Yeah.
But I don't trust fans and I don't trust fan pages. When I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened, those are the last places I look.
Right.
Just because fans, and again, we're guilty of this too. But I'm trying to get better with it. Fans, they don't
Or
see the whole picture.
yeah, say we're one sided when it's against our team.
Yeah. So, like, for example, when Detroit fans think that Green Bay gets all the good calls or all the calls against the Lions, there's a channel on YouTube that the guy goes through every bad call made in the NFL that week, and there are some doozies that have nothing to do with the Lions. And I'm like, oh, what's this game? What's this game have to do with the Lions? That was a bad call. Why is that only happening? I thought that only happened to the Lions.
Right.
So when I see when I see Lions fans, Lions pages, and again, I'm guilty to an extent of this too, but I just don't trust them because, like I said, they don't look at the whole picture. They're just the refs hate my team. And they take it personally to me, and I think every fan base does.
Yeah.
So I don't take my information from fan pages, so that's why I texted you Sunday morning. I go,
I was gonna
okay,
say you texted me and I was like, yeah, this is actually what happened.
yeah. So that's why I texted you because I don't you're like me where I think you have
Mhm.
enough common sense to know, okay, let's take a breath here. Let's actually look at the whole picture, see what happened here.
Another side story. Speaking of that, the game should have been over with on Dallas's final drive. Yeah, I'm sure our Packer fans can tell us about Mike McCarthy's game management. But literally, Aiden Hutchinson should have been called for tripping, and that would have ended the game.
Well, and that's
And
again, I didn't see that, but I heard about that where they called Dallas for tripping, and it was
yeah,
on
they call
Detroit
and
actually.
there's like a still shot, and you can see Hutch's leg was sticking out, and I couldn't even see the guy who got called, the tight end. I didn't even know where he was on the field.
Yeah,
So that's another honest of a Lions fan is yeah, the game should have been over. We should have never been in this position either way.
yeah. So that is all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back tomorrow for our Week 18 NFL preview. A lot of games with playoff implications. There is a chance, I believe, it's very slim, but I believe the Lions are still in play for the 1 seed. I could be wrong on that. I know they're still in play for the 2 seed. They need a lot of help for that, though.
I think they're out of the running for 1 seed
They're
now.
they're out of San
Yeah,
Francisco
they
clinched
needed to
it.
win both games and,
Yeah.
49ers to lose once.
Okay. So they're out of contention for the 1 seed, but with Philly losing to Arizona, which was probably the stunner of the weekend, we'll talk more about those games. But Lions are more than likely going to be the 3 seed in the playoff. We'll talk more about that. And tomorrow, we'll preview every game. And then we'll also throw in the national championship game for college football in there for you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow will be strictly game picks. Thank you guys so much for checking today's episode out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks, Jake, for joining us earlier. Sorry for all the technical difficulties. My wife was scrolling on Instagram is what happened. So
Sounds
I
about
told
right.
I told her to turn her phone off. So hopefully we'll have no more issues tomorrow and going forward. Thank you guys again for checking us out. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcast. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.